how to transform, filter, and combine data effortlessly in Python. Stick around till the end of this video because I'll show you exactly how to do that using the powerful built-in functions map, filter, and zip. First, for using our functions, we need some simple list, which here I'm going to have this number list, which is numbers from 1 to number 5. And of course, here we're going to have simple print of our list. And if we run our code, you can see we got our list printed into our output. But now let's say we want to make all of these numbers double. So we want to have another result variable right here, which we want this to hold double the values of this, which are going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. But we want to do this automatically with our built-in functions. And to do that, what we need to do, instead of having this list right here, we're going to use map function, which this is going to receive 2 items and arguments from us. First one is being the function and the thing that we want to do on the list, which for now I'm going to simply have this function name right here, and the second one is going to be our list name. And we need to create this function to do the work for us, because if we run this, you can see we got this error because we don't have this function defined in our code. So here we're going to create this function of x2, and here we're going to receive this parameter of x, and we're going to return this x times 2, which what this does is basically is going to grab this x, make it double, and return that. And if we want to check that, let's comment these items out for a moment. And here let's say we want to have this a variable, which is this number 5, and then we're going to print this x2 function and this a. And if we run this, you can see we got the value of 10 right here. And we're going to do the same thing with all of these items. But how we should do that for each of these items? Well, the map function is going to do this for us automatically. So here, instead of this function, we're going to have the simple x2 right here. And this is going to come to the list of number and pass these items inside of these numbers to this function that we got right here, and then return those for us. So if we have this print of results right here, if we run this, you can see we got this map object, because this is going to create an object with those values. And because we want to see them, what we need to do is having this list method here and wrap our result inside of this. Or we can simply have our result here when we're creating this. So we got this list and then this map, and this does the same thing for us too. And now if we run, you can see we got this new list, which has the double values of our original list right here. And another example that we can have is with our list of strings. So let's say here we got this words list right here, which here we got this Python, then maybe this apple, and let's have another banana right here. And now we want to uppercase all of these words. Well, for that, first we need our function. And the way that we're going to do that is simply using our upper method we got in Python. So if we got this print of this word 1, if we run, you can see it's going to be this apple. But if we want to make this uppercase, what we can do is use this str.upper, which this is built-in string method that we got in Python. And this time, if we run our code, you can see we got our result in uppercase. So if we want to use our map method here, we're going to have this upper words, and we equal that. Again, we're going to have this list because we want to create the list at the end of this returning of the map, as same as the thing that we done right here. And then here, we're going to have this map method, and then we're going to pass first our function and then our list. And here our function is predefined, and we don't need to define that and create that here. So we're going to have this str.upper right here, and then the name of our list, which is this word. Actually, let's make this words just like this. And now after we done this, what we need to do, we simply want to print this upper words into our output. And now if we run, you can see we got this result of Python, Apple, and banana in the uppercase. So basically, the map is about transformation of one thing into another, and it works with any iterables like lists, tuples, and etc. But let's come into our first example, and here let's say we want to grab only the even numbers and not odd ones. How we can search in our list? Well, we're going to do that with our filter method, and the way that we're going to do that is again by having another function, which this time our function is going to have this name of isEven. And it's going to grab some number right here and return us the boolean value of if the number that we got is even or not. And we check that by this remaining operator of 2, and we say grab the x, divide it by 2, and if the remaining of this division is equal to 0, then return us 1, which this does the same thing for us. And else it's going to return us the false value. And then here we can check that by simply having this isEven method right here, and then pass that some number, for example this 5. If we check, you can see we got the false, and if we pass this number 4 here, if we run again, you can see we got this true value right here. So let's use this in our numbers and use our filter method to search in our numbers. So again, we're going to have this result. We equal that with our list method, because as same as the map function, this is going to grab those items for us, but we want to put them in some lists. And then here we're going to have this filter function, and again here it's going to grab 2 items from us. First one is being the function of our logic, which in this case is going to be this isEven, and the next one is going to be our original list, which is this number. And then here we can print this result into our console. And now if we run our code, you can see we only grab the even numbers between of these numbers, which is this number 2 and number 4. And of course, we can make this the opposite to find odd numbers for us. So this is going to be odd, as same as this one. And here we should change our logic, as you can see right here. So the remaining must be equal to the 1. And now this time if we run, you can see it grabs the odd numbers for us. Now let's come again into our second example, but this time let's create another list here, which is this names, and we equal that with this list of Tom, Ted, for example, Alice, and another one of this Bob. Now here, instead of having these items, let's say we want to grab only the names which has 3 characters. So to do that, here we're going to have our function, of course, which you will learn in the next part, that we have lambda functions that we can use them without creating this kind of functions. But for now, we're going to stick to this way and code like this. So the name is going to be is3chars, and again, it's going to grab the name, and we want to return if the name's length, so we got this function and method of len here, is equal to 3. And then here we're going to have our result list here. We equal that with this list again. And here we're going to have this filter, and here we should have 2 parameters. First one is our function of is3chars, then we're going to pass the names. And now if we come one line below and print our result into our output, so here is going to be our result, and here if we run, you can see we got only the items and names which has 3 characters, which are this Tom, Ted, and Bob, which you can see right here. And basically, filter is about selection and searching inside of our list. And it returns only the elements and items where the condition is true. But let's say in some scenarios, we got these names right here, and then we got scores for these people. So we got some random numbers here, just like this. And let me fix the name of this scores. And now what we want to do is pair these 2 items together to see a list that Tom has 85, Ted has 95, Alice got 60, and Bob got 80. And for doing that, we're going to use our zip function. And zip allows you to combine multiple sequences element by element. What I mean is, let's say we're going to have our results right here. Again, we got this list, and inside of this, we're going to use our zip function. But unlike the other and previous 2 functions, This time, we don't want any function to put here. What we need to do is only passing the name of our lists. So the first one is going to be this names, and the next one is going to be this scores. And now by having this, if we have this print and print our result into our output, if we clear our output and run again, you can see we got this type of pair of Tom 85, Ted 95, Alice 60, and Bob 80. Pay attention, this works with the order and gives the Tom this number of 85, Ted this one, Alice this one, and Bob this one. So in this method of using, the order is so important. But what happened if we got another item right here? For example, let's say we got another name of Jack right here, but we don't have any number and score for him. If we run this, you can see we only paired the items that we got a score to them and not to Jack because we don't have any number and score for Jack. And if we got the opposite one, for example, let's say we got this 97 for the Jack and we got another 78, which is some extra number and score, and we don't have any person assigned this number to. If we clean our output and run again, you can see this time again we don't have and we don't do anything with this number of 78. So let's remove this one, and we got right numbers right here, and you can use this type of spacing to be able to see each person's details below them. And let's say we want to have another list of age right here, which this one is holding the age for these persons. And let's fill this list up. And now let's say after we got this Tom and 85 score, we want to add the age to this item too. And with this zip function, it's very easy. What we need to do is only having this separator of comma right here and then add the name of the list that we want to add here. And now this time if we run, you can see we got the Tom's name 85 score and the age, which is 28, as well as other items that you can see right here like Jack 97 score, 32 years old, and all of others. But here let's remove this age, and here let's say we got this result right here, but we don't have these items. How we can separate these items into names and scores? Well, let's first print this into our output. So this is our first one. Then for separating these items, we're going to pass two names for two lists that we're going to get. First one is going to be the names and second one is going to be the scores. So we're going to have this names right here, then separate that with comma and then the scores. And we equal that again with zip function. But pay attention here, instead of having that name of the list and combining, if you put this star at first and then name of your zipped list, it's going to come and take these items and separate these two from each other. Put this first one, which is name, in our names list and this 85 in our scores list. So if we want to print those items, here we're going to have print of our names and then another one for the scores. Now let's comment this print of our zipped items and clean our output. If we run this, you can see we got two separate items of Tom, Ted, Alice, Bob, Jack, which is our names, and this numbers as our scores in our second one. So basically, we got our map function transform our items inside of our list to other things. We got our filter function to search and select what we want inside of our list, and we got our zip function combine two lists together or separate a zipped list in our program. In the next video, we'll talk about lambda functions, short anonymous functions in Python, and once we combine lambdas with map and filter, you'll see how powerful and compact your code can become. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to be aware of the next videos coming up. See you in the next one.